Not good. I tell you what, it's something been going around. Exactly. I know she put it on Facebook or texted us. I just knew she said sick, and I said, okay, I'm praying. I didn't read. I'm not a reader. I don't read. You get a text this big, got more than 3 lines, Brother Joe. You ask Miss Angie because I don't know. Because I don't read that far. Because that's even on Facebook. Shannon's post is about kittens, but when it comes down to read a longer, I'm like, I have no clue what it says. Yeah, picture guy. If it don't have a picture on every other page, I haven't read that book yet, except the Bible. Right? And there is Bible picture books, so they help me out a lot. We're going to Galatians. Today we're going to kind of still just getting the start of it. Lesson 1 is more about the introduction. I did an introduction. I go over lesson 1 more than anything today, and we're going to start lesson 2. And I believe lesson is into the verse by verse. It's 15 weeks for 6 chapters, so we're not going to get a chapter a week. It's going to be a little bit. We might not even get through some of these. It says 15 lessons. It might take 2 to 3 weeks to get through a lesson. I'm not going to rush it because I know some of Bible stories. If you're anything like me, I grew up in church. Once in a while, there's a nugget in a Bible story that you just haven't seen. Points it out to you. And I'm hoping, just studying this myself, God points out a couple to me. And most of these, this talking about the timeline was pointed out to me. I'm not a timeline person. I know Maddie and Lee and Josh, or not Josh. Yeah, you look like Josh, don't you? Jackson. That's a baby Josh. There we go. No, Jackson. The timeline. And I'm not a big timeline person about the Bible, because if you go, hey, was this in the same timeline as this? I don't know. I just about 2,000 years ago. It wasn't complete finish in English language until the King James did it. There was other languages it was written in. So know the exact timeline that everything's written is a key information, because sometimes you don't see the timelines and you don't understand what's exactly going on. And like I said, I'm not a timeline person. Then just stories. I guess I was in my 20s. I haven't hit 30s. I could have been close, late 20s, early 30s. Go that route. The song, everyone went to faith would know. The rest of you guys, you might not know it, but you ever heard the Zacchaeus song? Okay, as long as you never heard it. All of a sudden, I'm in Bible class, and the principal of the Bible class, Dr. Britton, he goes, "Oh, everybody knows Zacchaeus was a wee little," and I'm like, "No, I got no clue what you're talking about." And now I know it because I've been on a bus ministry, children's ministry. Guess what? That's a song that you learn, right? And if you don't, right, pick it up. It's a little, it teaches you stuff. And then when you start reading the Bible and stuff, you're like, that song makes a lot of sense. There's a few Bible songs that you just try to wear out the kids. They got a little bit of meaning to them, but like Father Abraham, right? That's just to wear out the kids, because you just give the right arm, left arm, you get them spinning, and by the time you're done, they're wore out and they're sitting down. That's what Father Abraham, that's all that one is. That's like, we'll make you fishers of men. Have you done that one? Right? Every female stand up, every I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men. Every the guy had to stand up, every F, or you could just say every F and M, and then they're all bouncing up and down, and they can't figure out. And at the end, I think the boys are supposed to be standing and the girls are supposed to be sitting. So then you sing it a second time, and they're all sitting. But you do them two songs, oh, and then you can do I may never march in. You just do, you know, yeah, right? Yeah, when you sing them three songs, by the time you get done, that's why kids listen to Bible stories, because they're so wore out and they got nothing else to do but to listen. Right? Why do you do Bible songs and things? We're teaching truth. Songs have got a little truth to them. That's why I always tell people be careful what you listen to. I want a country song because they got some good meaning with words over and over with that have no meaning to. I like a story song, right? Your rock and roll songs, your high, they got no meanings to them. If they got a little bit of meaning to it, I probably like them. I like opera. If you ever listen to opera, not the ones that speak in foreign language because I don't know what they're saying, right? Or just pitching. Whoa, I don't know what you did there, right? Man, I went really loud. Everybody else, am I loud now? I gotta tone my voice down. Sorry. There we go. Right? Songs got me. I forgot what I was saying. Man, he blew my what? Opera. Oh yeah, I love opera. Right? I went to an opera song. It was a play opera, and oh, it was so funny. They were talking to each other, singing. Hi, I'm oh honey, you're. Home. I thought it was. Have you ever been songs and sing like I don't watch Great where the whole show was nothing but singing? I thought that was cool. I like stuff like that too. Got a lot of bluegrass, a lot of story behind it. A lot that's why I like instrumental because it's got no story. You got with my soul behind that one where the guy wrote that where he went to the anthem. You but with, uh, that's why oh, all right, but man, so he'll about and he'll Bible music, and I'm like, that's interesting because uh, not you know, out with right. Right. He was he served as a man. It jumped again. Oh no, just keeps jumping. Seems like. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I can't turn my head down. Okay, let me lower it a little bit. That's what it is. All right, there we go. All right. He served as a deacon to the believers in Jerusalem before. Right. His prayer, and this is crazy because only maybe there was more, but his prayer and God's prayer on the cross, or Jesus, was forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Forgive. Man, I don't care who you are. You do something against me, killing, getting ready to kill me. I don't know if I could forgive you. You know, I mean, I don't know if I want to say I'm really human, my full self. I mean, maybe one day I can get to that point and say, God, forgive this person, to save this person. I don't know if I could do that. You know, I would love to say I could be that person at that point in time of my life if it ever came about. Because that's also, you hear about the shootings in school and stuff where the one kid put the gun to the girl's head and said, do you know who Jesus Christ is? Right? And if you say, yeah, I'm basically going to kill you. Right? And she said, well, I guess I'll meet my maker. And he pulled the trigger and I don't know if at that I was like, no, not say, you know, just to live a little bit long. I mean, I enjoy life. I want to get to heaven. As Pastor Terry Boer used to always say, I'm on the bus to heaven. I just want to be on the bus load. You know, I mean, I really don't. I can't wait to get there. But I want to see my grandkids get older. I want to see them maybe get married. You know, we all, right? It's. Everybody says when it's your time to go, God gives you that peace. And hopefully when it's my time, he will give me that peace. I haven't had peace yet because I have much more to do. I feel like I can use this, right? And that's where Paul, it's such an amazing discovery with Saul, or we'll go back to Stephen's real quick, but he said, forgive them, or and that's in verse 60 where he says that in Acts. That's Acts. In verse 60, he says, don't hold this against them. Like I said, that would be hard for me. Because it also, coming down, where in 32 AD, later, after Stephen was stoned, is murdered on the road. Damascus. I said it all day yesterday and can't say it today. Damascus. He's on his road. He's on the road, and we know what happened there. God came down. Can you being pretty much, I don't know if I would say he's atheist, because I believe he believed in something. I don't think he believed in just Jesus. I believe he more like a cat. Well, but different religion. I think he had a different religion, and he's like, you're going against my religion, I'm going to murder you. And there's religions out there today that they ones that they'll put planes in the buildings because infidel, you don't believe in what I believe, we kill you. That is easy because us Baptists will love you no matter who you are, but we love to know who Jesus Christ is. That's between you and Jesus Christ, not me. You know, if you come to Christ, that's between you and Christ. And I think a lot of times people don't even realize when Christ puts the blinders on you. Now, Paul he went literally blind. But how many of us, before the moment we got saved, the blinders went on and you didn't even realize it? And you're like, you know what? Because when I got saved, I was 8 years old. When I got saved, I was sitting right on the gym floor. I always thought it was the size of a basketball court. It was probably the size of this auditorium. It felt bigger when you're a little kid. No chairs, right? Just a square drew out. We ran around circles, called Awanas, around the circles and everything. But teachers got some because they couldn't sit on the floor. I know that feeling now myself. Against the walls, and they had a little podium they brought. Preached on. I tell you what, the blinders went on. You know why? Because I didn't see nothing else except heaven and hell at that time. And I was like, which one do I want to spend eternity in? And he was talking about gnashing teeth, eternity, no lights, and 8 years old, you're petrified of the dark. I have a light on, bathroom light at 8 years light. And I said, God, I don't know exactly 8 years old. I know who Jesus, you're telling me this Jesus guy can keep me out of going to hell. I'm going to trust in Jesus. So I came forward at 8 years old. And I didn't understand it 100%. And I said, I got saved. But I didn't. I went out to the bus that afternoon. Understand, I don't want to go to hell. These places don't sound good. What do I do? And you ever seen the wordless Bible where it's yellow, red? She showed me that, and she said, "All you." And I was like, "Can't be." She's like, "All you gotta do is accept them." And I said, "I'm gonna subscribe my heart." 8 years old, May 1st, and it's in my heart, and boom, something just lifted off. I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? Now, don't get me wrong. When I was 14, between 8 and 14, Lee, how old are you now? 16? Do you know? 9? 9? You done anything wrong? Sinful? Don't it sometimes like maybe you're not saved sometimes? Right? If you're like, can I really be saved? And so I was that kid. 14, I said, oh, back to God. Preacher. Kid decide. No, it's God's. People like, but I remember when them blinders went on. But see, some people don't take the chance to take them blinders off. They learn just to keep them on and learn how to function their lives on. And I'm always scared as God never took them blinders. No more chance for you to get saved. When Paul had his opportunity and the blinders came on, right, on his way to, he went, God sent Ananias. He sent Ananias to go talk to him. Right? And that's one thing I tell you. Have you? Most of y'all been door knocking, right? Or even talking to a teenager, right? You ever go to a basketball game, right? You two guys might know it. And you go talk to the other teammate, and and you're like, man, I'm gonna knock you out. You know what I'm talking about. You go to a door, and you're like, all right. I mean, and that's where a lot of us, we get like that sometimes, is when that door is slammed in our face. But can you imagine going to a place where you just talk to a person? Can you imagine? Local, and you got to worship to them about God. You might get shot, I mean, and that's what this guy was told to do. Go to a guy that will kill you to find out that you're a Christian. Tell him about Jesus. So that would be like a cop tell a cop he's got to go to a drug house by himself and take them all in. Right? He's going to get shot. And that's what this this to, if you want to think about today's society, yeah, send one cop into a drug house with 50 guys and tell them to bring it out. That's what, because you're not talking about telling them to go in the house and bring out one guy. You're talking about bring out the leader of them 50 guys. Paul was the leader of this army that killed Christians. And God told him to go. I don't know. God told me to go to the drug house and go talk to the leader. Where he's at. I would have done the same thing Ananias said. God, do you know who he is? You know who I am? And then when God said it the second time, because that's the thing we get messed up a lot of time, even reading our Bible. It's no problem to question God sometimes. Because maybe as I didn't understand it, what God wanted us to do. But if he definitely tells you the second time, you better do it. Because that's where we make so many mistakes in our lives. Watch the time for me, babe, because I got sorry. We have yeah, now I messed without yeah. When I do that. I know I was talking about Anna the first time.
Went into the drug house.
I know. All right. We go in, we get them. When we went in and talked to them the second time, when God goes in and tells you to do something for the second time, we need to do it, because how many times we get so God, because I had it, I've done it, and every one of us can say, God says, I need you over here. I need you over here. I need you over here. All right, everything over here is going to fall apart on you. And then you're like, what do I got left? I guess I'll go. And you go over here and it's much better. And you're like, why didn't I come over here before? And God's like, I told you. I just don't understand why you didn't listen. And how many times we've done that? Every one of us, right? It's amazement to me, because like the Bible and we see what these guys done, right? I tell you, there's probably not written things that they probably made a mistake on, that they didn't do. Sometimes they wrote them down, but how many times while we're going through our Christian lives, God tells us something and we don't. And Paul did the same thing. God told him to do something, and maybe he didn't do it exactly the way God did it, and he struggled. Because like ailments, right? How many of us get these ailments and we hate the ailments, right? And God said, we say, God, take this away from me. God, take this away from me. Instead of saying, God, I know you got me in this situation for a reason. What is it? What can I do better? What am I not doing? And maybe he says, you're doing exactly what I need you to do. Go through it. When you get through the other side, because Paul, he never did. He kept it. Right? And he said, well, maybe this is just something that God always wanted me to have. And that's where you just got to just say, God, I'll be happy with what I have and what I got. Because every one of us, right? I know I am. I'm bad at this. This is one of my weak spots is money. Every one of us wants more money. Every one of us wants to be rich. Every one of us wants just, here's $1,000 for you. Here's $1,000 for you. And I'm moving that everywhere. Here's $1,000 here. He had a guy at our church. You guys might not remember him. I know Brother Rich, named Ed Hardwick. Always said he had a $20 handshake, right? It could be more, it could have been less. Every time it felt like I needed something in my life, he was one come up and shake my hand, and all of a sudden there was money in my hand. And that's why I said he had a $20 handshake, right? And I didn't want to go shake his hand sometimes because I felt like I was asking for money. I was like, because sometimes I'm like, no, I don't need it. But times he just knew. Remember, I think I mentioned it in here. Remember when my car got stolen, right? I think it was him that did it. It was either between him or Bill. Could have been both of them together. Can't prove it. It was God to thank him. I told the story in front of both of them, and I told them how much it was a God sent, and I kind of tried to thank them, but, they were them guys. That's cool. Didn't give a hint. I was trying to get, did you do it? Did you do it? That's the way they work. They could have been that kind of guy. I love to be that kind of guy. It's like Brother Russ, he's that. He knows when somebody's hurting a little bit more. Just need extra friends. I wish I can be that guy. No, Brother Joe's that guy. If you need a conversation, he will talk to you. Right? And you might not get a word in, but he will talk to you. Right? So if you need somebody to talk to and you just want to hear somebody talk, Joe, he will talk to you. We'll talk. He's got listener. You can talk to him for hours. He might throw in 2 words, at least between me and him. Right? But he does talk a lot of wisdom about him, and that's why I love him to death. I mean, he helps family out a lot of times. Right? Now he starts talking a lot, right? Then that's when Brother Joe goes, "Oh man, he's talking more." But it's very important. I like listening to him. How horseman. All right, we got 4 minutes left. Right? But let me get to some of the 18, then 35 AD, 46 AD, Paul travels Samaria, and then in AD, right? The phantom relief. Do that. That's Galatians 2. Paul's first ministry, 49 AD is the writing of Galatians, and that's one of them. We say 49 AD is the writing, but it all depends on if he's writing to the north or the south. I didn't know there was a north and south of Galatians, and that's something to learn. In 50 AD, you got Jerusalem Council. 50 to 52 AD, Paul's second ministry. 53 to 58 AD, you got Paul's third ministry journey. 60 AD, Paul's arrested in Jerusalem. And 67 AD, the tradition of Paul's death. So that's for his timeline. Next week, I'll give you lesson 1, all the little highlights and the paperwork, and we'll jump into lesson 7. But the book is actually a letter. A lot of people know that. Galatians is not a, hey, let me book, right, out my life or something. It's actually a letter that he wrote to somebody else. So the Galatians is a letter to the of the church. And the points of debate, which Galatians did write to, and that's a debate. They said the book is if he wrote to the north or the south. That's a debate. That's one of them. If you south, you north. We'll just say he wrote to the Galatians and be. So that's one of the different timeline. Earliest date is 49 AD. The latest date that it could have been wrote, AD, because a few years later. Outline of Galatians, and I did that last week, but it's the defense, and that's chapter 1 and 2. The expert wrote the book, that's 3 and 4. And then chapter 5 and 6 is going to be the application, how we apply it. And then they got a few questions. It says, did Christ give his followers before his ascendance back to heaven? And that is, he witnessed for him. When he went back to heaven, he said, witness for me. And then how did God use Peter during his feast at Pentecost. He testified of Christ before the crowd, and thousands joined the body of believers. How did the early church of Jerusalem reflect God's grace? Of Christ, properties, and had favor with the community. More questions. And I'll give all these to you next week. You'll have that chapter into the actual see Stephen access the people the people doing. Accused the people of. What did Stephen accuse people of doing? I don't know if I talked about that today at all. It says rejecting, killing the prophets of Messiah. Stevens did that. How did we reflect God's grace at the moment of death? But how did he reflect God's grace? How did he reflect? That's where I talked about him. If you were a Christian, ask God to do. If you were at that time when God ascended into heaven, what would you like to ask him to do? I know there's many answers. That's just something to reflect on. What was Paul's plan? Prison to imprison. When Paul first left on his trip to imprison or to kill Christians, what was Christ's plan? To redeem Paul. And at the end, what do you think Ananias thought of this? And that's many. And yeah, you heard my explanation on what we thought he would do. And I'll give you a copy of that. That's going to be in your handouts. Pastor's going to print them out, and we're going to have a booklet. And we're only in lesson 2 right now, and there's, I think, 15. And so we'll go slower through them once we get into the book. Some of them might repeat itself. Hopefully it won't. I'll do a little bit more deeper study in it. And I got to find somewhere else to put my hands now. Right? That microphone's killing me. But we'll get going and know more about it. I'll pray with you real quick, and we'll go and get ready for church service. Our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time. Thank you for this Sunday school hour that I can teach about Galatians, that I can learn more. And on this journey, in this letter, Lord, just bless it and give us more to understand and chunk it meat that we can chew on this, go through the week, and just give us great